Welcome back. Happy Halloween and all that. So this is more of a theme than a costume. So this is a Fourth Doctor scarf. My wife made me this. It took her about 2 years to make this scarf. It kind of became a running joke because she had meant to make it for my birthday, and it was 2 years later that I got it. This, of course, is the 11th Doctor Sonic Screwdriver. The jersey I'm wearing is technically it's the 12th Doctor that I got put on here because Peter Capaldi is my favorite Doctor. So it's Doctor Who themed. All right, let us review what took place earlier on Halloween as we get ready now for the later game, which is the Rangers and the Seattle Kraken. So we're going to start off with Montreal and Anaheim. Go ahead and open that up. There we go. Perfect. Writes a lot better without the cap on it. So it was Montembeault versus Gibson, and you have to play Montembeault because Jake Allen can't play every single game, right? You need to be able to rest him. And I thought Montembeault played all right. Dave Poulin gave him one of the 3 stars on TSN. The NHL app gives different 3 stars. I didn't know if necessarily he should have been in the 3 stars, but yeah, rough start overall for the Montreal Canadiens. This was a road trip where they really needed to win 3, and they didn't. TSN feed was also broke to start the game, so they went to the Bally's feed. Montembeault gives one away early. The Ducks end up with a power play. The penalty kill for Montreal rated 30th in the NHL. So, yeah, rough time. Comtois takes a puck to the ear/neck. He'd stay in the game. Henrique scores on the power play from Milano and Shattenkirk at 3:39. So, 1-0 Anaheim early, right near the end of the penalty. I think there was 4 seconds left in it. The Habs then get a power play, and 5 seconds into theirs, they score at 4:12. It's Hoffman from Weidman and Drouin, and that's the first shot that Montreal had in the game. So they're being outshot and outchanced, but they capitalize on the power play. They make it a 1-1 tie. Zegras then backhands one wide. The Ducks press at 7.5 minutes. The Habs were stuck at 1 shot 9 minutes in, so they were having a really hard time getting any kind of offensive pressure there. The Ducks were ahead 3-2 in shots halfway through, so it was not the most exciting first period of hockey, not at that point anyways. But then Paquette gets a 5-minute major and a game, so he was out for the rest of the game, and it was a legit penalty, and then he got up looking like he wanted to fight. So the debate on TSN was, did maybe he got told to be a little more physical and fire the guys up, and maybe he went a little bit overboard? No idea. But on that 5-minute power play, Lettieri scores from Henrique and Shattenkirk at 12:47 for Vinny Lettieri. That's his first goal this year. And there was still 2:30 left in the major. Then we get 1 minute and 32 seconds of 5-on-3. So this looked like it was just going to get worse, right? But the Habs did kill that off. There was a turnover chance then for Lehkonen that wouldn't go. Henrique ends up hitting the post, but it's 2-1 Anaheim after the first period. Second period, Zegras was back from the Paquette hit. Zegras was the one that took the hit from Paquette. He was okay. Armia then with a rush. Gibson makes the save there. The Habs get a power play. We then end up with 1 minute and 25 seconds of 4-on-4. Suzuki had a chance. It was stopped. The Ducks get another power play. That's a no. Evans, he fired one high, but it looked like maybe it had grazed the post as well. So it was one of those ones that was close but doesn't go in, of course. The Habs get a turn on the power play. That doesn't go for them. Zegras then had a rush that was defended. The Habs needed more shots. This was a case where they were getting looks, but their shots were missing the net for the most part. Anderson was denied with 3 minutes left, but then it's Evans, who of course had missed high earlier, doesn't miss this time. He scores from Petrie and Lehkonen at 18:05. That's Petrie's first point of the year. Maybe he's going to start going. And the momentum was with the Habs. It's 2-2 after 2. Third period. Early pressure by the Habs. And it looked like maybe both teams were sitting back and ready to play for a point. And considering the records of these teams coming into this game, I would totally understand if the players were looking at the clock and going, if we could at least get a point out of this. The Habs get their 4th power play. Gibson denied Toffoli twice. Denied Dvorak as well, and it's killed off. In fact, Toffoli asked Gibson, basically, like, seriously, how did that not? What in the world? But then Troy Terry on a breakaway goal from Getzlaf and Fowler at 10 minutes and 10 seconds. And the celebration was for the fact that Getzlaf gets his 989th point. And so, yeah, that was a breakaway goal for Terry. but Terry didn't really get the celebration. Getzlaf did, because with that 989th point, he passes Teemu Selanne, so he's alone now as the all-time leading scorer for the Anaheim Ducks. Goaltender gets pulled in the final 2 minutes. That means that you get the empty net goal. It's Sam Carrick from Fowler and Lundestrom at 18 minutes and 50 seconds. So that's Fowler's second assist of the game. Your final score is 4-2. Anaheim goes to 3-4-3. The Canadiens drop to a woeful 2-8. They go 1-3 on this Western swing, and it just keeps getting worse for Montreal. The shots 10-5 Anaheim in the first, 7 apiece in the second, 9-6 Anaheim in the third. Final shots 26-18 for the Ducks. Power plays, Montreal goes 1 for 4, Anaheim goes 2 for 6. That power play of Anaheim's that was record bad, like NHL all-time bad last year, looks pretty good this year. Hits were 22-16 for Anaheim, so they outshot them and outhit them. Montembeault, 22 saves on 25 shots. Gibson saved 16 out of 18. And there you go. That's one game down. Next up, Buffalo in against LA. This was one of those games where, at some point during this game, I was like, well, somebody's got to win this. So it's Tokarski versus Quick. The Sabres did get an early press. Bjornfot had a shot that was saved and held. The shots were 4-2 for the Kings at 6 minutes. It wasn't a really exciting start to the game, which, of course, when this one didn't have an exciting start either, I was like, oh, it's like this, is it? So I'm watching this because other people are going to be out because it's Halloween. They're going to be like, hey, that guy with the YouTube channel, I'll just watch him and see what happened because I don't want to watch any of this. So Mikey Anderson had a shot that deflects out. The Kings get a power play. That's unsuccessful. Kopitar had a net drive. That was denied. Brown tips one wide, and then there was a save by Quick on Kajula towards the end of the period. So we go to the second period. The Kings get the early chances. Power play for the Kings, and it was a good power play. It was doing pretty well, and then it's a shorthanded goal. It's Asplund at 3:07. The Sabres killed off the rest, and that was and it wasn't a big crowd in LA, but they didn't sound happy. This is okay, we're kind of tired of watching these. Are we going to lose to Buffalo? There seemed to be that feel to it. The Kings press at 5 minutes, but then there's a fast break the other way, and at 7:39, Olofsson makes it 2-0 for Buffalo from Bryson. That lead doesn't last. At least it doesn't last at 2 goals. Grundstrom scores from Kopitar and Bjornfot at 8:39, so a minute after that 2-0 goal, the Kings make it 2-1. The Kings then get a power play. It is unsuccessful. The Sabres get a power play as well. There was a shorthanded 2-on-1 during that power play. The Kings, Kempe, was denied. Quick makes saves as the Sabres press. We then got a fight between Dylan Cousins and Brendan Lemieux. Who saw that coming? And Cousins held his own. Kudos to him for holding his own with Brendan Lemieux. We then get a good second half overall for the Kings. With 45.1 seconds left, however, the Sabres have a power play. So that's key, right? You're up 2-1. You've got a power play to start the third. Well, the Kings finished that kill in the third period. Slow start for both teams. And then Lizotte on a very good individual play. He forced a power play. And during that power play, well, the Kings score on it. It's Kopitar from Clegg and Kempe at 4 minutes and 50 seconds. So Kempe had a very good game, I thought, in this one. And so it's nice to see him on the board. Kings then press for the lead. Thompson with a chance. Quick held on to that. Chances both ways as we got around the halfway mark. So while this one at points, it felt like maybe they were sitting back. This one didn't feel quite as much like that. Big Tokarski saves with 9 minutes left, but he can't save them all. It's Iafallo from Bjornfot and Kempe at 13:41. So there's Kempe with another assist. Bjornfot with his second assist of the game. I believe those are his first and second assists of the season. Poor defense on the goal. I think Bjornfot passed it through 3 Sabres. They got to watch that. So the Kings then get a power play. Moore ends up hitting the post. That's as close as they get. That one's killed off by Buffalo. Another Kings power play. That doesn't work either. Goalie gets pulled in the final minute. The one thing with that late power play was that, of course, that means that where Buffalo normally would have the goalie out, they'd be going 6-on-5. They can't, right? They're in their own zone. So this one ends 3-2. The Kings now go to 3-5-1. They win back-to-back games over Montreal and now Buffalo. So these are games you want to see them win at home, right? And we'll see whether or not they can run it to 3 in a row in their next one. For Buffalo, they're 5-2-1. And yeah, they've got to watch this. They had a 2-0 lead on the road, and they blew it. They lost it as well in regulation. They didn't get a point out of this either, and they dropped to that 5-2-1 record. Shots were 7 apiece in the first, 14-9 LA in the second, 13-8 LA in the third. Final shots 34-24 for the Kings. So Buffalo played well, and then LA just started taking over. Power plays, Buffalo 0 for 2, LA 1 for 6. The hits were 20-17 for Buffalo. Tokarski saves 31 out of 34, and Jonathan Quick saves 22 out of 24 at the other end of the ice. So this game did end up being pretty entertaining. But the most entertaining of the three, I'm going to say Columbus and New Jersey. I'm going to say this was the most entertaining of the three. So it's Korpisalo versus Wedgwood. Early chance for the Devils, and they do score. It's Johnsson from Bratt and Subban at 107, and that makes it 1-0 right away. Wedgwood then poke-checked a chance for Columbus. Columbus would press after that poke-check there by Wedgwood. VC then tried going 1 in on 4. That doesn't usually work. Didn't work here either. Bjorkstrand had a shot that was saved and held. Hamilton saved from in close. Johnsson then nearly gets another. Very good game for Johnsson. One of his better games as a Devil, I think, dating back to last season. Columbus then gets a power play, and they score on it. It's Bjorkstrand from Voracek and Line A at 11:55. Voracek is fitting in very well with Columbus in his return there. Graves then blocks a Robinson shot, and then it's Line A from Voracek at 14:54. So Line A continues what's been a decent start for him. We'll see if he can get on some kind of a goal-scoring streak for Columbus. I know Columbus fans would like to see it. That makes it 2-1 in favor of them. In the last seconds of that period, however, New Jersey nearly ties it. So we go to the second period. Mercer with a rush chance that was defended. Dawson Mercer's come out of nowhere, and right now, for my money, he might end up being the guy that takes home the Calder Trophy this year. It's really early, but I could see it. His work ethic's fantastic. He can pass, he can shoot, do a little bit of everything. He may need to be a little more selfish. He may need to shoot a little more often, but he's been very effective. Sillinger was then denied at the other end of the ice. Columbus presses at 4 minutes. We get a power play for Columbus. That ends up being a no. They don't score on it. And Mercer scores to tie it up from Subban at 8:37. And that was right after the kill, and it was a nice goal from behind the net. So Mercer comes out and buries it. And then Hamilton scores from Hischier and Zacha at 9:54. So out of nowhere, we go from a 2-1 lead for Columbus to it being a 3-2 lead in favor of the New Jersey Devils, who suddenly look like they have all the momentum in the world. Columbus presses with 5 minutes left. In the last minute, Johnsson had some shots that were blocked. And he had one that was saved as well by Korpisalo, and then Bratt. Bratt is denied in the closing seconds. So we go to the third period. Columbus with the press early. VC had a shot that was saved. Jimmy VC's fit in very well with New Jersey. This is the best I've seen him play since probably his first year in the league. Delay of game call. That ends up with a Devils power play off of it. Hischier was robbed by Korpisalo. Columbus kills it off. The Devils end up with 2 shots on their power play. There was a near goal for Columbus at 5.5 minutes. Really, really close. Doesn't go in. Trickles wide. One of those ones. Hamilton had a point shot that was blocked. Wedgwood denies Nyquist. So, yeah, Gustav Nyquist, he's back. I haven't seen him on the score sheet very much, but he's back. Then we look at the shots with 6 minutes left, and they're 9-2 for the Devils. And all the momentum seems to be with the Devils, and they're ahead. However, on a turnover, Ty Smith with the turnover here, and Jenner doesn't make any mistake. At 14:35, he ties the game at 3. Korpisalo then covered as the Devils pressed to try to answer that and restore the lead. 3:33 left. The Devils get a power play. They also call a timeout, and this is the turning point. They need to get that win at home, and they needed to get that power play going, and it didn't in this case. Then they get another power play because with 2:07 left, it becomes a 5-on-3. And Harrington, it was just one of those errant high sticks. I don't think he knew that he did it. He was even pointing it. I think it was Mercer he was pointing at, like it was his stick. It wasn't mine. But yeah, his stick did it. Again, I don't think he was aware that he did it. So we get a shorthanded 2-on-1 during this. So I'm like, wait, it's 5-on-3. But player comes out of the box and immediately you get a shorthanded 2-on-1. And then Texier, very good shorthanded play. He helps. They kill it off. So that's your game changer. We go to overtime. The Devils controlled off the face-off. Mercer with a net drive. Korpisalo didn't like how close to the net Mercer got or how personal he got on that shot. So he gives him kind of the blocker. And then Bratt with a drive that was blockered out. So Korpisalo's blocker was busy in the overtime. Then we get a post for Bjorkstrand, so very close to winning it in the overtime. In the last 30 seconds, Dougie Hamilton had 3 opportunities. None of them end up going. And so we go to a shootout. Now, for Columbus, both Bjorkstrand and Laine missed the net. It's very easy for a goaltender if the shooter misses the net. However, the third shooter was Voracek, and that's your winner. So 4-3 in a shootout for Columbus. Columbus improves their record to 5-3. For the Devils, they dropped to 4-2-1. And again, you know, this is a good game, I thought, for both teams. Columbus with the comeback. New Jersey on the second half of a back-to-back. Maybe they run out of a little bit of energy in the third, but, you know, they still get the point out of this. The shots in this one, though, 13-9 Columbus in the first, 12-7 New Jersey in the second. And then the third, showing that maybe that energy idea, probably not the problem. 14-3 were the shots in the third in favor of New Jersey. Really strong on the second half of a back-to-back. And in the overtime, they outshot Columbus 4-3. Final shots, 39-26 for New Jersey. The power plays, 1 for 2 for Columbus, 0 for 3 for New Jersey. The hits were 14-12 for Columbus. Not an overly physical game. Korpisalo saves 36 out of 39, and Wedgwood saves 23 out of 26. So for me, and from the cutout here, I got this during last season. The Canucks had the fan thing where you could have your cutout in attendance. I had this sent to me when last season ended, so I've been sitting on this for that long. And Yvonne and I call him Bob. So right now, Bob's wearing the Friday the 13th hockey mask. And yeah, we just call him Bob. So every now and then I'm like, hey, so I'm going to use Bob in a video. And there really wasn't any reason, but today is the day for Bob to debut on the channel. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts regarding these games in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just tap it upon this video. And again, happy Halloween, everybody. Hope everybody had a nice, safe day. And thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.